My name is Kerry Nielsen. I am a long arm quilter and I own my own business and I do full-time long arm quilting. So what I do is people will give me their quilt tops and they supply the batting and backing and they'll give it to me, and then what I'll do is I'll sandwich them together. I'll put it on my quilter and then I do all the top stitching, the decorative top stitching on top. I've been doing long arm quilting for probably 6 or 7 years. Mostly as a full-time business has been the last 2.5 years. No, I'm originally from Calgary. I've been in Hanna for over 20 years. It's really been a fantastic job. I feel very fortunate that I can work and have my own job, have my own hours, and be there for my kids and be there for my mom and dad as well. Well, I started doing very basic quilting about 6 or 7 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. It's very different from making the quilt tops, which I've been doing that for, it's now been 20 years since I've been sewing quilt tops. And so when you become a long arm quilter, it's actually a completely different hobby, I guess. And I just enjoyed it so much. So I've been able to invest in a machine. Actually, this is my third machine. It depends on the size. I've done table runners, which I could have pinned on and done in less than an hour. Some of the bigger king size quilts can take, with pinning them onto my leaders, that takes about an hour because it's quite big. Ironing it and getting everything centered. That can take 7-8 hours if everything goes smooth. Sometimes I might have some issues with my tension, so I have to stop and pick stuff out. And one time I chose to, with a friend's help, we unpicked a whole quilt. I just wasn't pleased with the way it looked on the back. So just for me to be happy with it, I want to be happy with it as well. And I want my customers all to be happy. My very good friend Corinne Hewitt, she has taught me a lot through the years. Even with basic sewing and piecing quilt tops, and she had a quilter, so I learned from her. And then when I bought this, they gave me instructions as well, how to use it and how to use the pantographs, because using the pantographs patterns is quite different than doing free motion stippling, which I learned from Corinne. So there's the two techniques. So I've had a variety of people that have been able to help me, very good support groups. I actually can't really see there has been much of an issue. Like I said, I've been very fortunate. Just the odd time if I run into questions about my machine, and then we've had to oil it and take it, bits of it apart, which I'm not familiar with, so I've been able to be guided through to Andrew and myself. We've been able to oil it and put it back together and stuff. So I guess the maintenance part is the only thing I'm not familiar with mechanical. My most satisfying moments is seeing my customers' faces and knowing that they're very happy with it. I think that's probably been the most satisfying. And I love as I quilt, I love feeling the texture of the quilting, and so there's so much of it. Not only do I love it, it's definitely an addiction, but there's so much more than just seeing and looking at it. It's the feel and the comfort and the warmth and the design. The support I've gotten from my family Andrew, my children. My mom has been a big support, and of course Corinne has been a really big support as well. It hasn't affected it too much. There's times I have emergency quilts that I have to get done. So an emergency quilt is somebody may need it because they have to send it away for someone who may be sick, or I've had people ship their quilts off to different countries. So there can be the time limit of getting it done. So sometimes if it runs into the evening, we might have to have takeout, and I'm down here working and everybody's sort of upstairs fending for themselves. Advice that I'd give myself would be to always look for the little things, like making sure I have everything set up properly, because sometimes I've been hasty and maybe not getting my bobbin in properly, and then I end up with a whole bunch of thread on the bottom and I have to unpick it all, so that can be time consuming. So it's just all the little things you learn along the way to be wary of, to make sure I have this, make sure I check for various things before I get started, make sure my tension is always just the way I like it. Top things needed is work ethic. Definitely. People will always come back if you give them what they are expecting, and knowing that they'll be happy for it. I'd have to say being responsible, getting it to them on time if they have certain dates that they need to have it done by. I would say make sure you have the support. Support is necessary. Most times everything's an investment, so you want to be able to have something to fall back on if it doesn't work out, and be able to just keep pursuing your dream and have that support and determination. The main thing is to be able to have my clients. They're the ones that keep me in business. So like I say, it's always good to have a good work ethic and make them happy and let them know that their work of art is loved as well.